Anybody that supports Sharia law in this country should be deported.
So do you know what Sharia law is?
Yes, but it does not have
Do you know what it is? Me praying...
Muslims want to bring Sharia law to the United States.
Do you even know what Sharia law is?
Hello guys, you're welcome back. My name is Bukumi.
Here are 5 ways America would be better if it was under Sharia law. Number 1, your taxes would be used for good things. I don't care how patriotic you are, you know that 40% tax that you pay isn't actually going anywhere beneficial. It's funding wars. But if Sharia law was established in America, we would all be required to pay 2.5% of our wealth every single year to charity. If every American paid 2.5% of their wealth to charity, we would solve all of America's problems. All of the hookup culture, the sexuality that we have in America right now, it would be completely abolished, and that's literally what's destroying the family, the nuclear family. That's what's destroying it, and that would no longer exist. So you would have better, safer, more loving families, which will raise better children, which will become better Americans. Remember, this isn't hating on America. This is how we make it better. Number 3, we would have no drugs. Think about how much damage alcohol does to America. All of the families that are ripped apart, all of the people that are killed, all the accidents that happen. And if we had Sharia law, we would have no alcohol. Number 4, politicians wouldn't be able to lie because they would have to bear witness to Allah. So if Sharia law was established in America, it would solve 100% our political system. And number 5, we would have no crime, because so much crime that's being committed right now, if that was being committed in a country where Sharia law is implemented, they would get killed, the person committing the crime. And then they would stop committing the crime because there's real punishments instead of sitting in a jail cell for 30 days and getting thrown back out. Seriously, I'm an American. I love America. I'm patriotic for my own nation, but I know for a fact if we implemented Sharia law into our country, it would be more prosperous. You cannot prove me wrong.
Muslims want to bring Sharia law to the United States.
Do you even know what Sharia law is? Feeding the poor, that's Sharia. Smiling at someone, that's Sharia. Being kind to your neighbor. Education for every child. Women's right to work. Marriage must be between 2 consenting adults. That is Sharia. Respecting your parents. Workers' right to fair pay. No interest loans, so there's no poverty. The current court system is derived from Sharia. Democracy is Sharia. Hospitals have been built on Sharia law. We're already living under Sharia law. So what exactly are you fearing?
Anybody that supports Sharia law in this country should be deported.
So do you know what Sharia law is?
Yes, but it does not have
Do you know
rights.
what it is? Me praying 5
Sharia law?
Of course, me praying 5 times a day is Sharia.
Okay.
Right? Like basic.
What about equal rights for women? What about
That is completely separate from
so now you can be a Sharia law supporter and be half pregnant at the same time.
What
Come
are you talking
on.
about? You are talking about stuff you don't know anything about. Like, okay, I'm not going to attack you personally.
What law?
But my frustration is that people talk about Islam without knowing anything about it. And they're willing to completely negate any of my rights as a human being, as a woman, as a person with agency, simply because they have an idea about what my faith is about. Excuse me, Islam to me is the most feminist religion, right? We got equal rights well before the Europeans. We don't take our husbands' last names because we ain't their property. Right? We were given the right to own land. We the fact is, what is culture is separate from what is faith. And the fact that people go around dissing my faith without knowing anything about it and want to chuck me out of a country I have done, and Muslims. The fact is, Jackie, I agree.
The fact is, we have one law in this country, and it is the Australian law. It's not Sharia law.
In Islam.
Not in this country.
Islam has no commercial value in the U.S. because the U.S. runs on capitalism, and Islam promotes values that directly contradict what U.S. capitalism promotes. Islam promotes modesty, sobriety, discipline, self-control, all qualities that don't fit well with a consumer-driven culture that depends on indulgence and instant gratification. Just think about it. Islam prohibits alcohol and which are 2 of the most massive industries in the US that rake in billions of dollars every single year. Even modesty, it is a core value in Islam, but American advertising glorifies the opposite to sell products. Even the way capitalism constantly encourages people to want more gadgets, more clothes, more experiences, it doesn't align with one of Islam's core values of teaching gratitude and living within your means. Capitalism is built on the idea that happiness is something that you buy, but Islam teaches that true contentment comes from self-discipline, faith, and community. The truth is, Islam doesn't just sit outside of the system, it actively calls it out. So it's no surprise that Islam isn't marketed or celebrated in America because it challenges the very foundation that America is built on.
The benefit of being Muslim in America is not a lot of people know a lot about my religion, and I take full advantage of that. Like back when I had a day job and health insurance, what I did is I marched into HR's office and I demanded a private room to pray 5 times a day. She's like, absolutely, yeah. Yeah. Now, how long does each prayer last? 20 minutes? Oh, I was like 45, actually. Listen, I prayed. And then I had 43 minutes, do whatever the I wanted. It was fantastic. It was great. I was watching Netflix, calling my mom, whatever us Islams do. It was amazing. That's on them. They should know. I told them Friday prayer lasts all day. I had 3-day weekends for a year. Are you kidding? It's fantastic.
All right, so I have a controversial opinion. I think that Allah makes it super hard to go to hell. I'm being real. Now, the reason that I say that is because everything about Islam, right, teaches us that life is laced with this idea of mercy. Now, when you think about it, right, the Islamic concept for living life, right, and experiencing life for how it is really integrated in this idea that as you live life, right, you are receiving blessings and mercy from God through what you experience. Now, for example, if I am walking on the street and I fall and I like bruise my leg, God just forgave me for sins for that. He also opened up doors of mercy for me for experiencing that. Now, I'm not denying the fact that it's super important as human beings to seek forgiveness, right? But I also want us to realize that it's important to recognize the fact that there is a system of mercy built into our daily lives, where it's, as human beings, we experience hurt, right? Whether that be emotional hurt, whether that be physical hurt, right? And in that hurt, we actually experience so much mercy, and it's a means to get closer to God. So the next time you feel hopeless, I want you to realize that the system of life is not rigged against you, it's actually rigged for you. And Allah does not set people up for failure.
All right, guys, real quick. Sharia law is a kind of law that is not pleasing to everybody. I think that's how I see Sharia law. That's how I can explain it. So, Lily J is trying to tell us that Sharia law, we are living Sharia law. I don't think that's the case. Then it shouldn't be called a law, because eventually everything she mentioned is what we do, is our day-to-day life. And the other guy saying that they should implement Sharia law because it's going to sort out so many things. Well, I saw it in somebody's post online, and I saw a video online, and somebody commented saying that Sharia law, for example, Muslims are actually against dogs. Normally, Muslims don't like dogs. It's against their doctrine, their religion. So the person said they are putting all signboards around United States of America, that's USA. They are putting signboard there that dogs should be prohibited. They don't want to see any dogs. You can't come and implement something because it's not acceptable in your religion. Doesn't mean everybody must adhere to it. Everybody must follow those rules and regulate. No, your religion does not accept eating of pork, dogs, and so many other things. But that doesn't mean everybody have to follow that or have to do according to what the religion says. I think that was really wrong. But the other guy talking about Islam, when you're in Islam, you can't go to hell. What? Nobody can say, like, we can't conclude. We all just know, like, we follow what our spiritual book says, our Bible, our Quran, but we should know that there's heaven and there's hell. No matter how you sin, if God forgive, we don't even know what might even there are some things that might not be pleasing to God, and we might think it's just normal thing. So we should just pray that we don't go to hell, and we should try as much as possible to live the life that will not make us go to hell. But the man saying there's no hell, is a no for me. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. Well, that was a very beautiful video. So this was a video about Muslims living in America, the Sharia law system. People are totally against it, and that's what is causing a lot of fight in UK, US, and so many countries. They are really against Islam because they feel like Muslims want to come with their Sharia law, with their law. You know, one of the Sharia law I also heard about is marrying a minor that is married like 6 years old, I think 9 years old. No, minimum my 9 years old. You know, in the Quran, Prophet Muhammad married Aisha, and I think she was 9, if I'm correct. I think she was 9, so it's permitted in Islam and is one of the Sharia law. So if you say they should bring Sharia law, that means little children will start getting married, and it doesn't make sense. Children are meant to live as children. They need to go through the process of being a child to when they now reach adulthood they cannot make their own decision. But as a child, parents are supposed to make decision for them, and you are not. I don't believe in little children getting married. To me, it's a no. It's too young. What does she know? What does she know about life and marriage? So that's my opinion, guys, about the Sharia law. I don't. It's a no for me. It's a no, and I will counter what Lady J says, that we are already living in Sharia law. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. If that is the case, why are people still shouting about it, talking about it, that they don't want Sharia law? That is to say, we are not living in Sharia law. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.